So hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we would be starting with the CRUD operations in PHP. So let's get started. In this video we won't be performing all of them, but we would be performing the C or the create part. So first of all, I'll just want to create this new file called as read.php. I've created this file. So as of now it's of no use for us, but it will be of use when we add or retrieve the data. In fact, I'll just copy this and put it in the read.php file and save it and just leave it. Coming back, this is our most important part. First of all, I'd like to create a div with a bootstrap class. These bootstrap. This link would allow you to add these classes. So the bootstrap class would be container, div dot container. I would and inside here I would first of all like to add my page header. So this is my class dot page header. Again, this is a bootstrap class. Actually all the CSS we would be using in this project would be bootstrap only, so you need to have this bootstrap link if you want these classes. I'll say and yes, now in here I will say all students, and with this I would also like to enlist something, a link to the read.php page. This would take us to read.php when clicked, and I would say all students. Yeah, this should be actually add students. So this is done, and now let's proceed on to the form, right? And first of all I'll create this div. Yeah, just a minute. Yes, so this is it. And now what we will do is we will add divs which contain the input fields. So div dot form group, our input field div, and inside here the input. This was a container for our input field, and this is the text box where the user can actually input. Yes, so I've given this class a form control, and I need to give this a name, a unique name, or actually an ID. The name attribute is recognized by PHP, otherwise by JavaScript or CSS the ID or the class attribute is recognized, but here we would require the name attribute. So this is for the student name. So let's say student, the name is set to name, and here I'll just create a label for our input field. That would make our project a whole lot neater, whole more neater. And so this says that the label for this for name, and we'll call this student name. Yes, and similarly I would like to have two more divs for the student class and student admission number. Student class, student admission number, and I'll just change these this part. Yes, and I'll call it admin, short for admission number. Yes, so our form is done, I guess, nicely. Yes, but see, this takes us to the read.php page, but again a submit button is missing here. So let's just add that also. Div dot form group, and in here I'll say button, and I'll set the class to button btn, and then another class btn primary. These both will beautify it. I'll say the type is submit, and the name attribute I'll say submit, and I'll here say add student. Yes, so this should be our form done, and now we'll come to the PHP part, probably the most exciting one. So first of all, let's open these PHP brackets, and in here let's put in a if statement to check the form submission. So I'll just explain what this line actually means. So this line means that if we have set the form method to post, and the button or anything with the name value to be submit is clicked or performed something on, like clicked only, then it will execute the following part. So for now, let's see if this is working, and to do this I am good. It would echo out to us that it is good. I'll just add in some values and say add student. So there seems to be some error. Yes, the very big error is that we haven't added any form tag, which is not something we would prefer. So we need to enclose all this part inside a form. And yes, and we'll leave the action blank, and we'll say method is post, and inside the form we'll add all the input fields. Yes, it's almost done, but I would like to format this properly. There you go. Again, now let's test if it is working. Yes, it's working. So this problem is solved, and now let's type in the query. So first, so this part includes the these two steps. Okay, the first step is taking in the input values and storing them in variables. So I would like this variable to known as name, and now I would like to add some extra security to my project and prevent SQL injection. So what is this SQL injection? SQL injection is basically used by hackers and cyber criminals online. So they are very clever, and cleverly they can add in a valid SQL query inside our input field. For example, they add the query to delete our database, so our database can actually get deleted. So to prevent that, we will use MySQLi real escape string. So this is how it is done. MySQLi real escape string, and now this is basically a function and would take two arguments. So the first argument would be the proof to our connection to the database. So I'll just take in this variable, and the next one is the input values. So here there would be this. So as I said, the name attribute. So this one, this name attribute comes in, and now I'll just need to add such a variable and follow the same procedure for the class and the admission number. So I'll just duplicate it and change the values. Yes, dollar admin, and the names over here are name admin and name class. Yes, so this one part is done, and now comes the second part, the part where we add our SQL query to add data into the database. So you'll like this one, but it will be a little bit tricky. I'll create a variable called as dollar query, and since it is for adding data or creating data, I'll say query underscore add. And now whenever you want to use SQL in a PHP project or in a php.php file, you must add it like this. So I'll say insert into, so you need to make sure the cases are same, yours and mine. The case in the sense the typing case, capitalize it. So we have already proven our connection with the database. So now we would need the table name, which is this students. So I'll copy the table name, and in here we will give uh, 3 arguments, not arguments, but we would need to give these names, the rows in or the columns in which we have to add our data. So we don't need to specify the ID one, since our data would be added there automatically because we have put an auto increment. So it says that you have to add the following data into these columns of the students table, and but we haven't specified the values. So for that we use values. Inside brackets you need to put all the values that are to be inserted with accordance to these. So you can't add the admission number variable first, then the admission number value would be added here. So you need to make sure that we add the correct variable in the correct order. But actually this is in the complete part how to do it. Just enclose it in curly braces and single quotation marks for some extra security. And now this variable over here, yes, and this one. So it is so our the part one of our SQL query is done. Now the final SQL query, in which we actually use the MySQL call. So this was just SQL, but we also need to use an MySQL API, MySQL API. So this would again be stored in a variable query underscore add, but the final one, so query add final. So now we use the MySQL API. So this one is the latest one, MySQL I underscore query. Again this function takes 2 arguments. The first argument is the database connection proof, which is this one, and the second one is the SQL. So we could have directly added the SQL over here, but just to make things a little more neater, we are storing it in a variable. So this should be it, but I'll show you a debugging trick which I would highly recommend, and not just for this, for every PHP thing you do with an if statement. Okay, so this one I'll put the variable here, and it just says that if this query isn't working, then just tell us the error. Otherwise we would be wondering for hours that what is the error, where have we gone wrong, and is it even really some error? There must be something else. But again, as I told you that this is an advanced debugging tip, so it would be of a lot of use. So just echo that there was we the query has failed, and I'll show you something called as a Mysqli error. I'll concatenate it. So this is another MySQL function, and this takes two argument. So the first one is this database connection proof. So almost all these uh, take a proof that we have connected to our database. All these MySQLi functions other than MySQLi connect, because that's the connection function. Now the second argument would be uh, the query which we need to check. So query underscore add underscore final, and I think this would 100% work. If not, we'll solve our error. Yeah, first of all, I'll add say Atharv Vishwas Gupta, my name. I'm in 8th standard, so class 8, and I'll take the admission number P001 for myself. Let's see what was the outcome, because we didn't get any error. You see, this is working. We submitted the form 2 times, so that is why. But I'll just delete this. Yes, so this is done. And just another thing, we can I created the read.php file. What we can do is we can add a redirect, that whenever this is done, you can redirect us to that part, the read.php, because then we will wonder that how this even happened, because only we can access the database, the user won't be able to. So to tell them that yes, your record has been added successfully, we will say we will use a function known as header. So remember, this is not a MySQL function, this is a PHP function, so this won't take our database connection proof. So inside I'll just say locate us to, or redirect us to the read.php file. So you need to have this read.php file for this redirect. And yes, let's see if this works nicely. I'll add another name or another record, student 2. Student class should be the 7th grade, and the admission number should be P002. Yes, so I'll just add the student and submit. Yeah, so it has redirected us to the read.php page, and let's see if the record is added over here. Yes, so this is also added here. So we have performed the create part of the CRUD operation. So thank you for watching this video, and if you found this video helpful at all, then subscribe to this channel and consider buying me a book on Buy Me a Coffee. So till then, it's just me. Bye.